Hey everyone, how's it going? Mikey here, and today we are going to be doing a quick-fire discussion on Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch. As most of you know by now, I'm hoping, Smash Bros. Was announced for Switch on the March 8th Nintendo Direct, right at the very end when everyone thought Splatoon was going to be the thing and that was it, which thankfully it wasn't because that would have been kind of lame. So today, joining me for this discussion, we have Daniel, otherwise known as Captain K on YouTube, and Sparta King on Twitch. Go on and introduce yourself.
Yo, I don't play Smash.
No, he doesn't play Smash, but I'm hoping he will be more into it after we've had this discussion and I've got him to play Melee, because I'm pretty sure after you've played that you'll be a fan. So anyway, moving on to the very first topic, just so we can keep this video concise, because sitting through a 30-minute discussion can sometimes be a bit monotonous and can kind of drag out a bit. It's more like a podcast, but this is going to be something that's going to be a bit different. So, first topic, Daniel, new game or a port?
Hopefully it's going to be a new game.
I'm going with new game. I've got my heart set on the new game because there's just a lot of evidence pointing to the fact that it's going to be a new game. We have the copyright of 2018. True, there was a copyright for 2017. When I don't remember what game it was, but there was a game ported last year that had the copyright for that individual year instead of having its original year and the year the port was coming out. But there's that. There's also the fact that it's being developed by HAL instead of Sora. I think it is. I think it is. That it's definitely HAL though, and the fact that there's different logos. And the whole kind of style of the trailer at the end seemed very reminiscent of Brawl. Instead of being something that was entirely new, or entirely ported rather, from Smash, Wii U and 3DS. So, for me, they're definitely kind of surefire pieces of evidence that it's going to be a new game. What about you? What do you kind of think the same way?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Yeah.
So everything, those kind of primary points are definitely kind of indicating that this game is going to be new. So in terms of characters, we obviously know Mario, Link, and the Squid. I was going to say Squids. Inkling Boy and Inkling Girl. They're obviously confirmed. They were confirmed in the trailer. Inkling Boy and Girl are probably going to be palette swaps for the same character. They're probably going to have the same moveset, same abilities, same Final Smash if they're still going to carry on with that thing. And you'll be able to swap between them by pressing the X and Y button. The buttons. And I imagine you'll get different styles of Inkling Boy and Girl, so different colours, hairstyles, and ink colours as well. We also know for a fact that we've got Breath of the Wild Link, who has got a lot of people excited, including myself, and we've got Mario. They're both confirmed. Beyond that, we've seen nothing other than silhouettes, which is at the very end of the trailer. And I don't think it's just me. Daniel, could you see anyone really clearly at the end of that trailer? Because the people I could see clearly at the end of it were, I think, Donkey Kong and Bowser, just because they stuck out like sore thumbs, because they're both massive characters. Because I really don't think you can mistake them for anybody else.
Yeah, like at the moment, looking at this source from a Nintendo YouTuber known as Abdullah Smash, he has covered literally all of the people in it. So it looks like that. Well, Bowser and Donkey Kong are going to be in it, but one of them is Samus, Metroid.
Samus, I think, can be seen because she's got the big bulbous armor pieces on her shoulders, which are pretty distinct. I mean, she's pretty much the only character who wears armor like that, so I can see that being a thing. But remember, anything that anybody says at this point is purely speculation. We haven't heard anything from Nintendo. We haven't heard anything from Sakurai. The only thing we've heard from Sakurai was his Twitter, where he said he's been working on the game for a while, which further supports the fact that I think it could, well, not the fact, but the idea that it could be a new game, which we're hoping, because I think, again, it would be a really big wasted opportunity if they didn't do a new game, because there's so much they could do, especially with Link's new moveset in Breath of the Wild, and the fact that they put Breath of the Wild Link in this game also hints to the fact that it could be a new title, because they're going to have to, if they wanted to include the elements from that game into Link's moveset, they're going to have to reprogram a lot of things. They have to make entirely new movesets up for him. So it won't just be a palette swap for Link or another character slot. I think this is the Link we're going to be seeing in this game. But so far, that's the only confirmed stuff we have in terms of the character roster and who's going to be in it. So moving on to the stages. stages in the game obviously kind of correlate with the characters that you have. So you have the Mushroom Kingdom for Mario, Hyrule Field, or anything for Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf. You've got Pokemon Stadium for Pikachu and the various other Pokemon. Donkey Kong, you've got the Jungle Japes, I think it's called. Bowser's Castle, I think it's in the game. Samus, you've got maybe her ship. I forget. I think it's like Brinstar or something like that from Metroid. Mega Man, you've got Dr. Wily's Castle. If he's still going to be in it, that is, because he's a Capcom character. But you get the point. So any new characters, I imagine, will have their own correlated stages. I can't see them not doing that. It seems like a very sensible thing to do. And of course, their abilities of the characters may be if they intend on keeping most of the roster from Smash 4, they'll translate over to this game. I can't see them making any major adjustments because they don't have to. But any new fighters, of course, will have a revamped moveset because we haven't seen them before, so they have a completely new moveset. So any kind of characters you want to see in the game, who would you really love to see come into Smash? Realistically, of course, not just pipe dreaming like Shrek or Goku.
So I would like to see Waluigi to counterpart Luigi because there's Mario and Wario.
Yeah.
Personally, we know for a fact. Well, come on, it's pretty obvious that they're gonna add Springman from ARMS into it.
Yeah, it was this massive ARMS game breaking.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
With his Stadium, of course, as a new map. Hopefully they'll do Dover King from Elder Scrolls of Skyrim, as they've already did it with Breath of the Wild, with the outfits transferring to both games.
Yeah,
and hopefully they add a new Pokemon, probably Decidueye from the new character of Pokken.
I definitely think pretty much everyone you've just said is a likely candidate because they all have ties to Nintendo now, especially with Skyrim being on the Switch, probably the definitive way to play Skyrim other than the PC version. Because you can take it with you. And of course you have the Breath of the Wild Champion's Tunic, the Master Sword and Hylian Shield, obtainable in that game, provided you have certain amiibo or you make it to a certain point in the game, something like that. But yeah, I definitely think Dover King could be a shout, and he's laden with weapons, items, magic abilities, dragon abilities with his shouts. Of course, I think his final smash will probably be a giant whopping Fusrudar, which just blows everyone off the stage. And he has the ability to then rush in and make sure they don't recover. Springman, definitely, either him or the female version. Probably be palette swaps, maybe Twin Tail, I think whatever her name is. The character who's got the arms on her hair and she's got normal limbs. Those kind of characters, I can see them all make it into the game. Pokemon, yeah, definitely. Some new Pokemon maybe from the latest gen, from maybe Ultra Sun and Moon, and Pokemon Tournament, which will probably be the Pokemon Tournament battle setting. The stadium will probably be the new addition there, or maybe somewhere from Alola, which is something you wanted, wasn't it? Something from the latest gen of Pokemon.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting proposition. And then, of course, I think for me, I definitely want to see more Zelda characters. I want to see the guy from Dark Souls who they're making an amiibo off of just because it's funny. Because that amiibo, I imagine, will get a lot of people interested, saying, hang on, they're making an amiibo of it, why not put him in Smash? It's Dark Souls is a big IP, and the fact that they're making the remastered version come into Nintendo is, I think it's a pretty big deal, because we're seeing now that Nintendo are no longer, they are straying away from that kiddie kind of image that they created for themselves.
Yeah.
They're going to back to the days of the SNES and the NES, where they were having all kinds of games. Every game was on Nintendo, which is good to see. It shows the diversity of the library. And I think that means more characters are more likely to make their way into Smash, because we're having more collaborations, more crossovers, more everything. So that's a very big possibility. So to kind of round off this discussion, again, we only want to keep it short and concise, just to make sure we get everything across in the most direct manner possible. Daniel, major hopes or wants that you want for this game?
Major hopes that, personally for items, I want them to have the Pokeball still, which they probably are, with new additions, with the new 7th gen mons, and all stuff like that. And Pokemon Stadium, and then I'll be happy. And hashtag bring back or bring Tingle to Smash, of course. Can't have a Smash game without Tingle.
Oh.
And Little Mac. And those were my hopes.
Tingle.
And it should be a great game if they did the marketing correctly. The new trailer that is going to come out later this year, which probably it will be.
I reckon E3 will be the time when more gets showed off.
Yeah.
But Tingle, for real, he was a stage hazard in the Great Bay in Melee for the Majora's Mask stage. You could pop his balloon, and or you could stand on his balloon, and if it got popped, you would fall into the water and drown. I think I'm remembering that right. But yeah, I think for me, my major hopes and wants are the fact that, I mean, obviously, it's going to include a lot more. I feel like than any other Smash is going to have before. So as long as it's put together well, as long as it's well made, I don't mind. And as long as we get a decent roster of characters, and I kind of want a story mode like Subspace Emissary. Because the excuse that Sakurai gave for not having one in the last game was that people were going to leak the cutscenes online and then it would ruin the story for everyone, which I think is a pretty crappy excuse because people do that with every game, so why is this one so special? Other than the fact that it's Smash. But again, no one's going to expect a game like this to have a stellar story because it's not what the game's about. I guess my major hope is that if they have a Smash ballot, there's no silly characters in the Smash ballot like Shrek, who I can see you're looking at right now. What are you doing? Shrek or Barry from the Bee Movie? Can you imagine? Is his name Gary or Barry?
Oh no!
Barry.
Anyway, let's not get off topic.
No,
that's
not.
Probably going to be cut out.
no, I'm not gonna go into that. But yeah, just well-made game, well put together with decent modes and a lot of content. And I think this game is on to win. It's definitely going to be a system seller. I think we've already established that. But yeah, that kind of wraps up all of our major points. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like what you saw, don't forget to drop a like on this video and leave a comment as to what you want to see in this latest installment of Super Smash Bros. Subscribe if you're new and you want to see more from me. And to round off, big thanks to Dan joining me today. I'll leave his links to his Twitch and his YouTube in the description below so you guys can check him out. I did a video over on his channel talking about a very particular game that we're both very interested in. It's coming up for release sometime next year. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.